which is there's a 15-hour time difference between Los Angeles and Manila. It's hard to really fully dive down deep enough to be able to come up with solutions on the go. It's lobbing things back and forth. So when you can actually sit together in the same room and you can kind of tangibly and tactilely work through things, you can get deeper into the discussions about people, about resources, about planning, about goals and goal setting. And that's really why being here and being able to dig into that is really important.
MJ.
Hi Jared, MJ. So just so I have a clear picture, Top Draw Animation in the Philippines houses Pinoy animators, and then you get projects abroad, and then you have the animators here work on it. Because I've met some animators in Disney. I did stories on Filipino animators in Disney. So it gives me this impression that now Filipino animators, they don't have to go abroad anymore. You just
Right.
have to go to Top Draw. And do you offer very competitive packages or salaries for them, compensation for them? Because that's the reason why they're leaving.
Sure. I think to your point, there's no need to be traveling all over the world to be able to do animation business. Top Draw is one of the premier 2D animation studios in the world, and we think about the world of animation. Why are they coming to the Philippines?
Right.
They're coming to the Philippines, number one, for quality talent, right? For best-in-class talent and productions that they can get in other places, but the ability to get it at the right price with the right sensibilities and the right teams, it's all here in Manila, right? So we've got the Metro Manila area where we pull most of our talent from, but there's talent all over Manila, and that's one of the things that we will talk about probably later with some of these questions is, where are we going beyond Metro Manila, the NCR, what else is out there? We know there's talent, and having talent is the most important part.
So you have plans to go around the Philippines?
We have expansion plans, yeah, for
Wow.
sure. And for us, it's about keeping people where they want to be, and if you have happy animators and artists and talent, you have good work product.
Right.
And at the end of the day, if you have unhappy people that are just kind of pushing something across the table, you see that on screen. I mean, you can feel the difference. These movies and TV series that are uninspired,
Right.
they're not worth watching.
I'm not sure if you met Jingoy. I just went to the training room.
Uh-huh.
So I met this guy named Jingoy. He used to be just a delivery guy. And one day he was just delivering something here in Tectite and saw the Top Draw animation lanyard, and here he is now training for Top Draw. How amazed are you with the talent of Filipino animators?
I think it's some of the best in the world, and so that story is the story that we want to help support. I think the idea that you can walk into a dream job, and this being a dream company, it really is a dream. We want to continue to keep that here. So when you come here, you enjoy the experience that you thought you were going to get. I think all of us look at movies and TV, and it's a very attractive industry, but it's work, just like anything else. But when you look at the product that you deliver at the end of the day, and you have that pride of, I was a part of delivering that, it makes it worth your long day and your hard work.
I don't know if you can divulge, but what big projects do you have in line?
Yeah, we can't, so from a client perspective, we can't necessarily divulge that information, but we've delivered stuff for pretty much every studio and network you can think of. And some of these clients are North American based, some of them are Asian based, some of them are European based, Latin American based. So we deliver to clients all over the world.
All right.
So for Jared, what's the biggest market of Top Draw?
The biggest market?
Yeah.
I'd say we're pretty well diversified. So again, North America is a really solid client. And when you look at the budgets that are available, different markets have different budgets that are available for productions. So some productions are 2D harmonies, some of them are are flash projects, but we cater to whatever market has a need, and we deliver every show with the same level of passion and quality that we can.
You weren't affected by pandemic, right?
I'm sorry.
You weren't affected by pandemic since
I
you
would
guys
say
can work from home. And
our work product continued to flow effectively, but everyone was affected by that.
I know.
Right? And I would say that Top Draw was very, very versatile and very adaptive to being able to adjust to the needs of the pandemic. So being able to get people their equipment so they could work remotely, being able to manage people remotely. I mean, that's a hard thing to do. Sometimes the whole efficiencies they changed, right? So it was how do we manage all of that? But at the end of the day, we're just as healthy, now as we've been throughout the pandemic and before.
Right. Someone out there might be watching this interview and would probably think, oh, I wanna join. How can they do that? Do that?
How can they get
Apply or
into
get into Top Draw? Yeah.
Well, I would say first visit the Top Draw website,
Okay.
which is readily available through searching, and then there are fields and forms where you can submit your resume or you can contact somebody, and then we have a process by which we look at candidates, and we also have a teaching academy called the Top Draw Academy where people can come in and learn if they do not have experience but they have some sort of a knack or a skill or an ability. Then we can help them kind of nourish that.
Right.
So picking up from the in-house university that you have, do you have plans of expanding it and reaching out to local universities
Good
here in the
question.
Philippines and probably like spotting more talents,
Yeah.
Filipinos, future animators here?
I feel like you're living inside my head right now. So we have been talking about that partnership with other learning and educational facilities is really important because you're right, there's talent everywhere. And some people don't have a clear direct path of how do they get to us. We don't have a clear direct path of how to get to them sometimes. So being able to create awareness and have feeding systems where we can help support these other educational institutions, and somehow in turn that people will potentially come over and take a look at Top Draw. So that is part of our plan now, as well as the expansion plans which we talked about a minute ago, getting out of the NCR and being able to organize and partner with educational facilities there as well.
So how is the Philippine animation industry in the Philippines so far, based on your study?
Sorry, say that again.
Philippine industry.
Outside looking in.
Yes.
Outside looking in.
Okay. So if I'm, sorry, I want to understand the question.
How is the situation of the Philippine animation industry here in the Philippines?
How do you assess it?
Yes,
He
how
wants
do you
to-
assess it?
How do you assess it upon your initial observation?
I'm not sure how to answer that question. Sorry.
That's okay.
Clear.
Is the government also supporting
The group?
Oh yeah,
Yes.
definitely. Just last weekend, we were part of the Philippine Society of IT Educators who celebrated their 25th anniversary in Clark. It was a gathering of around 500 plus schools nationwide, and the government is very strong in identifying the future megacities on the different regions across the nation and really beef up the animation industry, particularly the IT industry, but that included in there is the animation industry. So that's one. If the question is, do we know if the government is going to support this?
Yes.
Yes, definitely. We were there. Sab is our head of client relations, and she used to be an animator 10 years ago,
Oh.
went through the Top Draw Academy,
Yeah.
and then right on got promoted year after year, and she's now our lead animation director. Okay, so going back to your question, yes, I've heard. I was there. I witnessed the ICT, Department of
Yes.
Information, Communication, and Technology, to say that the government really has strong support for the academic institutions to be supported with industry partners like studio partners like ours. We always have to remember that while the academe does everything they need to do, okay, there still is a gap in preparing our graduates to the real grind of the studio or the floor, right? So it's very important that we, industry partners, collaborate with the academe.
That you can work with in the Philippines that we don't necessarily look at as competitors, because what Top Draw offers is a greater organization, greater culture. I mean, if you've walked through and seen the tour, the facilities here are second to none. So we don't necessarily think that other companies are going to be taking our projects away from us. But there are other animation studios in the Philippines, and I'm sure you can look those up. What you do is you grow with intention, and you grow with purpose, and you grow and you learn along the way as you grow. So the goal, there are a couple of goals. We want to increase our exposure to the world so that we continue to fill our pipeline and expand our pipeline. So if we had X amount of projects, availability in the studio per year up until now, we would like to grow X times 25% every year over the course of the next couple of years. Now that's not a double in size, and then if you lose some projects, all of a sudden you've got to scramble to fill that pipeline again. It has to be sort of continuous growth as opposed to rapid expansion. On top of that, again, by growing our footprint across all of the Philippines, that allows us to probably shift some of the resources into different places. So if we can test other markets outside the NCR, and we can put satellite facilities in certain places, and we can grow talent from different places, it gives us access to things that we didn't have before, that allow us, again, to strategically grow in the right ways. Based on the clients that we've had at Top Draw for many, many years, they come back because they like the experience. So that's part of our sustainability plan, is make sure when people are here that we give them the experience and the work product that they want. Now, part of that is just the work product itself that comes through the animation pipeline. Part of that is our client services department, which is run by Sabrina over there, and making sure that people are engaged properly, that they have an understanding of what to expect, the expectations are managed, timelines are managed. There's a process by which we want to make sure that we protect the building that we do along the way, and we'll just have to make sure that we adhere to that.
Great.